Hey guys! Welcome back to Let's Play Xenogears! Last time we did way too much grinding. Oh my god, did I do too much grinding. Not that it matters. Unfortunately, one of the bigger downsides to Disc 2 of this game is once you finally do gain control of your characters, you're also at a point where there's very few battles that actually take place in your character forms. Pretty much everything, and I believe I've said this before, including the boss of the game, takes place in gear form. Now, that being said, most of the grinding that I've done is completely meaningless. But at the same time, it's fun to do for a couple of reasons. One, because it's always fun to see how powerful you can get your characters. Two, I have OCD and I like to balance out my character stats. And three, I also needed money for other things, which is what I was mainly doing while I was, grinding. I was grinding for money, which I showed off in a previous episode there, and spending it on the drives. But at the same time, I also did pick up a few other things. It's not in there. Why am I going there? Here we go. I did pick up some more Z chargers. They should be around here somewhere. Yes, so for a total of 6. And there's a specific reason for that. After the last episode and all the grinding I did go through pretty much the remainder of the game and basically right up to the final boss and kind of tested out a couple of ideas. And so I think I have an idea that I want to work with, so I'm just going to do that. I'll talk about that more when we actually get to that point. For now, I've set up my characters as I want going forward. Well, particularly these characters. As far as gear goes, this will be what I'll use in the upcoming area. It's the Duneman Isle. We'll finally be going there. There's not a whole lot to do there, but enough. Armor's not particularly important. I like to go defense up on when ally KO'd on Faye. Obviously defense down when KO'd on Satan, since he's got the power crisis. Speed shoes on everyone. Angelic robe because I like the additional stats. Ether doubler's not important upcoming, but why not? And of course the trader card is important. As you can see, my stats though, yeah, they're quite balanced and way higher. I've probably fed Faye and Emerald probably 40 individual strength drives. Everyone got some HP, a couple of HP drives to balance them out, and of course Emerald has been getting a lot more HP since then because she's now in her adult form. So yeah. Now, there's a specific reason why Satan's so low on HP, and of course that's because he has the power crisis, and it's going to help him out. The reason we're back here is twofold. One, we talked to this lady before about a mermaid. Well, I believe it was specifically about our mermaid tier item. Now, yeah, they're tough to find. Now, I've heard some guides say that you need adult Emeralda in order to pick this up. I'm pretty sure I remember doing it with younger Emeralda, but it doesn't really matter. Either way, you bring her in your party when you come here. If you got the mermaids here earlier in the game, I think it was in one of the underwater dungeon, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong, I don't remember. But yeah, we get a mermaid ring. I believe that's only equipable by Emeralda. What does that do? It's been so long since I even looked at it and I never use it. Mermaid ring. Yeah, it's got some ether benefits. It's not bad by any stretch of the imagination. Could work quite well with the angelic robe, but I have all my slots kind of set up for the most part. I will be using the effects of, what is it, the extra ether power, whatever that item was. Ether doubler. Words. But, not a whole lot, just 1 or 2 battles. Now, once I trail back through here, now when I was up right toward the end of the game, I came up with a secondary idea that I hadn't really considered doing. And I'm going to actually deck out 3 more characters going in there, just to show off some variety. And of course, I'm going to choose my 3 favorite in gear form. And so let's go tune them up before we go. And I think I'm going to run short on money, but that's alright. I have a way of getting around that. So we want to give engines that have the most damage and the most fuel, which is going to be quite important. that. Already upgraded that. And my main reasoning for updating these characters with the gear that I am instead of going to Big Joe's shop is I'm kind of going to go about this in a way, what to do if you have not gone there. And so I think that's important. So you've already got that, so that's fine. Store your fuel. Now, it was a bit of a stretch trying to figure out whether I wanted to go Steer, Siebzen, or the one that's not here, Chu-Chu. Now, I did attempt to bring Chu-Chu into the final party, and if you build up all of her stats with all of those drives, she can be quite the powerhouse, both whether physically or, just having a lot of HP to tank up all the damage, having huge magic stats so that she can use her healing ability to heal other gears in battle. I'm not going to go through all of that effort, but just barely. The Siebzen seemed to edge out the Steer, and without all the extra drives, Chu-Chu is just worse. So the main reason for Siebzen edging out Steer is one more speed and a better magic stat. And that's it, because they're basically the same gear at this point in the game. Way too heavy, not all that great. So we're gonna need to upgrade you. You already have better than that, and so yeah, I'm gonna upgrade that. I did have enough money for all of it. Would you look at that? I was going to consider going to sell all my excess parts because there's a lot here that I'll never use again. But we can do that later if necessary. For the most part, it's not. Yeah. Alright, enough of that. We wasted way too much time this episode. Let's go to Duneman Isle. I always tend to waste a decent amount of time at the start of an episode getting reacquainted with what's going on, especially if I haven't recorded for a little while. And fast forward. Change angle, fast forward again. Now, this is Duneman Isle. Here is an important point. When you land your ship here, you have to do it on the green. You can't really do it in the desert. Do it farther to the left, or I guess in this case the right. The western part of there, because if you get it too close to the Duneman Isle icon thing here, you'll actually get to the point where you cannot get back on your ship and you'll have to restart. And if you've saved on the island once you've done that, you're screwed and game over. You can't do anything. It's a real oversight on the game designer's part to have missed that, but yeah, just be very careful of that. I know this music. What do we have here? The Dune Men, huh? Oh, no place for gears. That's important. We can't use our gears here. Okay, these are all coming up automatically. I can't control them. Do you want to go back? No. We are stubborn. Well, we're stubborn at the same time. These guys are like level 1 enemies, so a triangle attack from you is enough to take them down. Of course, a triangle attack from most other people doesn't do nearly that much damage, but it's interesting. Die. Thank you. Now, with the power crisis, Satan is going to be annihilating anyone he comes across. So be aware of that. Now, this place can be not really mazy, but kind of irritating. Just because you can get lost here just like you could in the desert way at the beginning of the game. So, first things first, you want to center your camera north, head to the east, go one screen to the east, and it should look exactly the same. You want to go one more screen to the east, and this is a screen we'll come back to right here. But we do want to go east one more time. None of these are, these are all separate screens. Now, this one looks like every other screen, save for one, or two rather, in this entire area. Once we get here the first time, if you go anywhere other than north, you will get lost, and it'll take you a while to get back. So we want to head north. Now, if you do this correctly, you will see a pod of sand dolphin shark things. I don't know. And here, there's two options. There's option A, head to the left, which we'll be doing multiple times, and option B, which says to head north one more time. And I don't know why I'm not running into any paddles, because I know there are enemies here, and they are something I would like to show off. And here we get Annoyance. Now, let's see, can I get up here? Yeah, so basically, keep spamming the jump button once you get here, and fall through. Yeah, that's annoying. That's the unfortunate part of this little screen here. A lot of the time you fall where you don't want to be. So let's see if we can do it. There we go. Draw the sword. Yes, the Yamato sword. Now, the Yamato sword is technically not Satan's best weapon, but it's the best one you can find. Now, the reason for that, I was kind of hoping to have already run into one, is there's an enemy here who can drop a better one. And he also drops better weapons for some other characters. It's not much better than what he had, but better enough. So make sure your camera's still centered north, and retreat to the south there. Now we should go west. There we go. Now, there are a few different enemies to encounter here. These guys are not worth fighting, so we'll just run away from them. No point. Anyway, do head to the west, and if we're here where we should be, there are two treasures in this particular screen. However, we get kind of a nice view here as the quicksand begins. It's going to push you down, and you're not going to have a lot of option for maneuverability, so you have to make sure you kind of land right where the chests are. There are two chests before you fall down. Once you fall down, loop back around, and I'll show that. So, for the most part here, you want to... Come on. No. Aw, really? How did I miss that? Unfortunately, it doesn't like to... Okay. It doesn't like to let you jump sometimes, and sometimes it does. The first time seems to always screw up, and I can't jump. So I'll show the process of getting back to that screen once, and then just show you getting the other two treasure chests. It's odd, I just did this in testing and I didn't miss it, so that's kind of weird. This is not a boss, even though it comes across as a boss. This is a worm, and defense, and the worm takes damage from ether, but not physical. So you need to hit it with ether. I think it has, what, 3, 4, 5, 600, something like that. Dies in one shot, gives crappy experience, and an eyeball. Enough said. Now, this is the screen I said we'd come back to. So from here, we want to not go up there. We want to head to the east once. You can run into him as a normal enemy too. Can I run? Well, I'll just kill him. Fast forward. Yeah, he's a normal enemy, which is why he's not a boss. So anyway, head east once, and then you should head north once, which should bring us back to the pod of sand thingies. And yeah, there we go. And so we'll fast forward through that again. And you just need to head back to the east, or the west, sorry, once you get here. Follow the dolphins. And this will put us in this situation again. And you won't have to fight the worm at the bottom every time, just so you know. Okay, so we want to walk over this way. And yeah, you kind of want to land on that side. Here we get the kingly armor. I think this is the best armor in the game, if I remember correctly. Whereabouts are you? Kingly armor. Yeah, there we go. Defense up when ally KO'd. So again, it's better than the Manly Mantle and has the same effects as the Manly Mantle. So I give this one to Faye. And the Manly Mantle would go on a third male character if I had one, but I don't. Now, I will just pop up to the top there after this and see you in a moment. Alright, we're back. Now, this time you basically just want to hug over to the right as much as possible. Once you get here, kind of jump. Once you get there, you can kind of jump, and then just keep heading over to this side. So, once you get here, you're pretty much good. And here we get the Godfather, which is the best gun in the game for Billy and why we got the Godson ammo way earlier. Now, there's one other thing of note here. And we just kind of slowly fall down. I don't know why that doesn't happen faster, but... Anyway, now we're back at the scene, so in order to leave the area, we need to head west. But... Did I get it? I didn't get it. Oh, okay. Never mind. Run away. There is an enemy here I'd like to show off, and I'm surprised I haven't run into him once. I seem to run into him more often in the actual desert. So, I don't know. Well, I'll run around and see if I can find him. If not, I will see you in a moment. Okay, there we go. Finally found him. The Dragon. Now, this is one of the more challenging fights in the game, but if you have speed shoes on, we're in auto haste, and we can take him down. And there's a specific reason you want to take him down. There's actually 5 different variants of this guy in the desert, and you'll never know by looking at them because the same HP and all that. However, either they have a random element that they're immune to, or each individual one has a specific element that they are immune to. So, since Satan's my fastest character, I want to start off with him and try Crystal Water. If it does damage to him, I'll keep using it. If not, I'll have to resort to his XX attack, which is non-elemental, the best one he has. But let's see if it's... He's not now. Okay, he's immune to it. So, okay. Now you need to use attacks that are non-elemental in this case, except with Fae, and I'll explain why in a moment. So you can't use Emerald as best, Dark Beast. You want to use the Ray Count ability. I think we've already seen this one once or twice before, but I'm not sure if it changes when she grows, but it does a good amount of damage. Now, I learned this off-screen, but we finally learned his final level, Yamike. Now, this one is technically Darkness Elemental, but for whatever reason, it does not trigger his immunity, and does a shit ton of damage. Yeah, no Power Crisis on him, and he's doing 6,000 damage. You, with that, which unfortunately is all you'll be able to do now, should be able to do somewhat close, but not quite. Yeah, 5,000 damage. He'll do even more with Crystal Water if the guy's not immune to it. But yeah, he's got a total of 18,000 HP, and if you have your speed shoes on, you really shouldn't have to worry about, doing a whole bunch of, taking any damage from him. Though he can deal about 600 damage with his normal fire breath attack thingy. If you're, obviously I have done a crap ton of level grinding, so I'm more powerful than I would otherwise be here. But it's still possible with the same strategy to defeat this guy, even if you haven't done all this extra grinding. Just, speed shoes are a necessity. Lots of experience here. Another level up. And, oddly enough, there's the Mew Mew sword, or however you pronounce that. And this is Satan's ultimate weapon. It's 5 more than the Yamato sword, and that's pretty much it. Now, like I said, there's 5 different variants. One of them drops a Death Adder, one of them drops a Blessed Habit, a Blessed Helm, and a Kaiser Helm. The Death Adder is the best weapon in the game. The Blessed Habit is the best... I think it's a female-only armor or a unisex armor, one of the two, and it's one of the best. The Blessed Helm, I believe, is the best helmet in the game, and the Kaiser Helm is male-only, and I think that's the best helm in the game for guys. I am going to fight all of the different dragons so I can show off all of the different equipment, and that's pretty much all there is to do here, save for one more scene, which I'll show you here. So yeah, I just was in the screen one over, because I didn't want to get lost. There are a couple of other enemies in here that do not include this guy. Oh, fine, I'll kill it. Fast forward. And they include those sand sharks that we saw, as well as a healing robot mech guy that we've seen multiple times throughout the game. Now, this is what there is left to do here. And a battle too, that works. Yeah, more of these guys, just run. Thank you. Too many enemies around here just suck. The only one worth fighting is the dragon. Sure, even though most of you have tried to attack me. Sure, why not? Stuck in the sand. If you push, sure, why not? You don't actually have to do anything for this, and it doesn't really get you anything either. But you help a guy out. And I'm a nice guy. Sometimes anyway. And if you help this guy out and he manages to get himself free, eventually I'm going to yell at him. Do you want to run? Sure. And basically it allows you to get out of here, even though he only appears here in this screen as far as I know, and this is 2 screens from the exit. So, I don't know. But anyway, in between this episode and the next, I am going to fight the dragon a bunch more times and make sure that I get all of the different items so I can show you off. And we will meet back on the airship, and we'll be able to go over and head toward the final dungeon in the game at long last. It's been a very long ride, and it's not over yet. The final dungeon is confusing as all hell, but we'll be able to get through there. Anyway, that's all for this one, and I'll see you guys next time.